Hello and welcome.
Hi.
You guys can just have a seat just across here. Alright, thank you for, hello everyone, good morning. Thank you for being here today for your mediation. Please feel free to have a seat like you guys did already, where you are comfortable. My name is Olivia and this is Kayla. Please just call me from my first name and how would you want to address it?
You can call me too.
I would like to ask each of you how you guys would like to be addressed today.
You can call me Sandy.
Sandy?
You can call me Lou.
Lewis. Alright, Sandy and Lewis. Alright then, please allow me to familiarize you with this location. I would like to specify that restrooms are, if you get out this room, turn to your right, and then turn another right, and there's a Keanna and a male bathroom. We also have drinks and refreshments just around this corner. Get out this room and then turn to your left and then another left. We have drinks and refreshments there. To have a more effective and respectable environment, I just please ask guys to turn off all cell phones, or if you do need them on, please put them on silent or vibrate. I just want to ask, is the seating comfortable today?
Actually, my chair is not good.
Do you, would you like,
I would.
would you like a new chair? Right.
Thank you.
All right, Lewis, how about you?
I'm quite content, thank you.
All right. Is the lighting okay in here?
Yeah.
All right. Is there anything else I can do to make this setting more comfortable for you guys today? All right. So, just for like time requirements, please do tell us or alarm us, both mediators, any time or limitations you guys have. Like if you guys have appointments to go to pick up children, please do tell us now. And now I'm just going to go into talk about the purpose of the mediation today. And first and foremost, I just want to emphasize that this is your mediation. And as your mediator, I will support, both of us will support you guys both as much as possible. And you guys are here to share your concerns and issues about a conflict today. And just the mediation is just is a voluntary, informal process which helps resolve the conflict between both participating parties, which is both of you guys. And just when the mediation starts with each party, you just kind of have your own time individually to explain what you guys are here today for. So including the facts, how you see things, and how you feel. Of course, like I said, you guys each have a chance to speak without being interrupted. We will create a list of interests and issues, which is an agenda. Just kind of see and lead us to options for resolution for you guys to see. And from that, hopefully, ideally, this session will end with a mutually acceptable written agreement from both of you guys. And just going off that, some benefits you guys I kind of want to specify is that mediation builds a durable result. It's meaning mediation helps build solutions that are reasonable and it's lasting. So hopefully this session can encourage you guys for solutions that are workable and realistic for both of you guys. And also I do believe that mediation is an efficient process. It saves time and energy and finances. And from there, it also preserves relationships or redefines them in a healthy way. And as mediators, our role is to facilitate the process by helping guide the parties through an open exploration of their interests, of you guys' interests and options. Like both of us, we are not advocates, attorneys, or judge. So we have to remain impartial, neutral, by taking no sides at all. We're not supposed to be part of deciding the outcome. So it is not our job to make decisions for you guys, and you guys, the parties, are in charge of that. We're just here as a neutral person to facilitate the conversation. We're also here to balance power, so we make sure that each side is getting heard and getting the point across evenly. Also, we have no power to force a decision on you, like I said before. And just going off that, it is a voluntary nature process. So this mediation is a volunteer process. You may, if you feel like you need to leave at any time, this process, and if it doesn't meet your needs, you guys can go ahead. But I would just like to specify is that if you do decide to leave, please just kind of take one of us, the mediators, to the side and tell us why you're leaving the session today. Remember, please consider that you have decided to put a lot of time in your schedule to be here today at this mediation. And so I encourage you to at least use this time to search for a possible resolution and or clarify the issues in the conflict. And just a little, I'm just going to go brief through some of the mediation processes and stages. So we have 4 stages, which is the intro. We're in the intro right now. I'm just explaining, we introduced already to each other, and just giving you an explanation of the process, and just kind of begin to establish trust. Excuse me.
Sorry.
All right, and the next stage is the sharing stage. So just in this stage, both of you guys will just share your concerns, and us as mediators will listen. That is our job, to listen. And we will also at times summarize and paraphrase the things that you guys share today. Sometimes we will ask questions to clarify things to help us just kind of determine the key issues of both of you guys' conflict. I mean, also, like, both of us might take notes, but remember that anything we write down today, we will delete or automatically thrown away after the session ends for confidential reasons. The next stage is the problem-solving stage. In this stage, we let the parties kind of just brainstorm solutions to the issues such as common interests and options, which could be evaluated. At this stage, solutions are usually formulated. And at last, at the resolution stage, this is where just you guys both specify agreements and talk about them. And parties usually sign a positive, balanced, and clear, realistic agreement at the end that you guys kind of just agree on. And then Kayla's just going to talk about the rest of the introduction today.
All right. So again, like she said, if there is an agreement, there will be an agreement contract that the both of you will sign at the conclusion of today. And if there is no agreement that we reach today, I hope you both will walk away with a better understanding and appreciation of one another. This session is required that the both of us keep everything confidential. So what happens in mediation today, we do ask you to do the same. Is that something that you guys are okay with, keeping what's said here confidential?
No.
How do you feel about that, Liz?
I would like it to remain confidential.
Right. Is there a reason why you would like things to not be remain confidential?
Well, because if things aren't solved, I'll have to take further measures and account. So if I have to use anything said in today's meeting, I will.
Okay. Liz, is that
Sure, whatever, I guess I can agree to that.
alright? Look at that, our first agreement, everyone. So, however, regardless, it is your decision to keep what is said confidential. So, see, just another reminder that any notes taken during this session will be shredded at the conclusion of the mediation. At some point in the mediation, we may think it's best to hold a caucus, which is an opportunity to speak with each party individually. So I may ask one of you to step out of the room, and we will talk with that person that's with us one-on-one. And then we will ask the same for the following person. I won't share anything that is revealed in the caucus with the other party that you do not want to. And I do ask both of you to mediate today in good faith. With that being said, are there any ground rules that you would like to establish today? So any other questions? Let's just go over the agreement contract, and you can sign if you're ready. So we can start the sharing process now. Is there someone who would like to go first?
apartment for a year and a half now, and I've dealt with many ongoing maintenance issues. Even during my first month living here in my apartment, I noticed my dishwasher was broken, 2 of my stovetop burners were broken, and the vinyl flooring was lifting in the kitchen and in the bathroom. The landlord promised these issues would be fixed, and they never were. Upon moving into a student apartment on campus, I expected things to not be in the best shape, but I didn't have high expectations, but never could I have imagined it would be this bad. Now this winter, I've been freezing in my own home because the heat has been on the fritz. I have made daily phone calls to the maintenance to come fix my heat since the temperatures have been below 0 the past week. And I'm always told I'll be put on the list and be patient. And when the maintenance finally does come, they check things out, attempt to make temporary fixes that never last long. So I finally went to meet with my landlord at his office and expressed my frustration. He proceeded to tell me if anything needs replacement, it is coming out of my deposit. I feel that this is extremely unjust because I moved into an apartment with already broken utilities that should have been replaced with the past tenant's deposit. My frustration is heightened and I demanded that our heat be fixed or I would stop paying rent. This took a turn for the worse because he then threatened to kick me and my roommates out by the end of the week. I now do not know what to do. I've always paid my rent on time and do not want to find somewhere to live on such short notice in the winter.
So, Sandy, what I'm hearing from you is that you've been having many maintenance issues in your apartment, the dishwasher, oven, floors, and now your heat have all been broken. And you were promised it would be fixed, and when maintenance does come around, they make temporary fixes. So you finally had a meeting with your department manager?
My
landlord. Yeah, your landlord told you that it's coming out of your deposit, and you mentioned that you're not going to pay rent then if that's the case?
I feel like what was broken, like the stove and the fridge, not the fridge, the stove and the dishwasher, those things should have been already fixed upon moving in with the past tenant's deposit. And especially with the heat, I don't think that that's something I should fix at all. I think that's something that is included in the rent I already have been paying. And I feel like why, if I'm paying rent and the heat's not working, and it's the middle of winter, why am I paying them rent if they're not fixing it and I've been making daily calls?
Right. And so then your landlord threatened to kick you out?
Yeah.
Is there anything else that I may have forgot to mention?
Yeah, I'm just gonna go back and just ask you, your landlord did threaten you to kick you out. Can you kind of explain that to me again? Just kind of list some stuff there.
Yeah. So I live with 2 roommates that I know have not been keeping up with their payments of rent. And we've had the past struggles with them, and he has expressed the frustrations with them not paying rent. But I don't think that involves me. And so he's saying, if I'm too going to stop paying rent, then he's going to kick us all out. And I just don't think that's ethical.
Around Sam, do you have anything else you want to kind of specify on, or?
I do ask that, my landlord would have it in his heart to not kick 3 women out in the middle of the winter. Obviously, the rent that has not been paid by my 2 roommates will eventually be paid. So he will eventually get his money, and there's late fees tacked on to that, so it's not like he's totally missing, he's out of the money. And I think that the necessary fixes, especially with the heater in the house, needs to be fixed as soon as possible. And we shouldn't be on the bottom of the priorities just because the rent's not all paid.
But you are saying that you will have the money to pay.
So it's single leases?
Yes.
So I always pay my rent.
Right.
So I
But-
feel like if he is going to kick anyone out, it should be me.
Right, okay. And you mentioned that your roommates will have the money to pay, or?
I'm saying that if he doesn't have his money now, eventually he will have that money because they owe him that money.
Okay.
You know, like they can't just never pay that money.
Okay. Would you like to share?
Oh, is it
your
finally
statement?
licensed? All right. So, I run a huge campus student apartment. I have been for 20 years. I have to deal with irresponsible punks like them all day long. Constantly short on my rent money from my tenants, and even though rent is just nearly $250. There's those same rent slackers that will then regularly complain and demand that I fix their broken appliances. How can I run a business if I'm cheated on rent dues and still expected to keep every unit in tip-top shape? I was not even going to let Sandy and her roommates release another year because of their issues with making rent payments in the past, but out of the goodness of my heart, I allowed them to renew the same lease. And one of the main reasons I did this is because Sandy promised me that there would not be any future issues with her or her roommates paying rent on time. It has now been 6 months into the new lease, and both her roommates are 3 months behind on rent. It's that exact reason that their maintenance concerns are not prioritized. I don't find it important to fix their broken appliances when I'm not even receiving money for their rent to live there. I knew they were bad tenants, and I cannot wait for them to be gone in 3 months. And Sandy actually recently just came into my office aggressively demanding that I fix her units and heat, otherwise she would stop paying rent too. And that would leave me with little to zero money to fix any of my other leases that I have going on right now. I told Sandy and her roommates that they need to be moved out by the end of the week, and I assumed that Sandy had came to her senses on the next day, and she requested me to come to mediation, but obviously that is not the case.
Okay, so what I'm hearing from you, Louis, is that you run student campus apartments, and you seem to have a lot of tenants who are all really short on their rent. That costs $250.
Yeah.
And you heard you say that you can't really run a business with tenants who slack on their rent. And you let Sandy renew her lease after,
After her and her roommates had spent a whole year on late payments,
Okay.
I allowed them to renew again.
Yes. And currently her roommates are 3 months late. Not late. Okay. And so you don't feel obligated to fix her appliances
No.
because of this
I
reason?
do not have the money or funds to do so. I have not been receiving rent for the past 3 months.
And Sandy came into your office the other day and wanted you to fix her appliances, and you told her that you can't afford this, and
Well, so just kind of your reading, so,
Whoa. That brings me to the move.
I'll be in the way.
okay, so we haven't been receiving rent from Sandy's roommates, is that correct? But is she paying for rent? Is that what I'm hearing?
She has been recently, but there's been multiple times in the past where she's been late.
I've never been late on my rent,
You've been late.
ever,
Yeah.
I
never.
just ask that we have an uninterrupted time right now, and
Yeah,
just
thank
let
you.
Lewis speak for now. We'll have
Here's
you.
your turn. You have to deal with all day.
I'm just gonna, going back to this, so she came to you and she demanded to, fix her appliances, is that correct? But you didn't want to because, she was late on her rent, is that part of what you're trying to say?
Yeah.
Okay.
Roommates, and I don't have funds to fix their problems going on in there.
Right, Lewis, is there anything else you want to put on the table?
I just want my money.
Alright, so we're gonna open up this time for an open dialogue between the two of you. So, we're actually gonna move on. So, I see that there's a specific issue of you needing money to Lewis pay for these appliances, so would that be something I'd like to discuss today? Sandy, is there anything that you would like to discuss today?
Yes, I think it's important to discuss that he owns the student living, apartment campus. So he should expect, students to not be paying the rent. But that is the reason why he has single leases. And I'm on my single lease. And I've missed rent maybe once. Okay, maybe twice. But I've always been paying my rent, and there hasn't been months of delinquent payment. So I don't think it's fair for me, just because two of my random roommates, he assigned with me, that they're not paying their rent, that I have to live in a house that doesn't have a working heater, or that I don't have a working dishwasher, it's single leases for a reason, and I shouldn't be punished for what they.
Shit together.
They're not my friends. You assigned them with me.
Oh, you don't live with your friends?
They're friends with me now. But I just feel like it's important to bring up that they're single leases. And the fact that it's the winter time, and it's against the law not to have working heat.
So what I'm hearing from you is that you want to really emphasize that it's a single lease and you don't feel that it's your responsibility necessarily to have these random roommates who you've bonded with over time.
Yeah, I mean,
to have you be affected by not having working appliances, essentially.
Yeah.
And I also heard you say about it being winter and basically your concern is having having a roof over your head.
Yeah.
Alright. So on the agenda so far, we're going to talk about rent, single lease, and having a living situation. Is there anything I'm missing, or anything you guys would also
You
like
haven't
to
really talked to me at all. You've just been one side and the the whole time.
I'm opening it up so you can add anything that you would like to list to this agenda.
Alright, well, so she expects me to fix her appliances or whatever, maintenance in her house, but I'm not receiving 2/3 of the money that I'm supposed to be receiving from that household, so how am I supposed to be expected to fix all of their appliances when I'm only receiving 1/3 of the money?
Because they're supposed to be fixed upon us moving in.
Well, so you say that the people from the year before should have paid and
Should've came out
so
of
that
their
I can
deposit.
fix the maintenance, or should have came out of your deposit?
Their deposit, yeah.
Well, there and your deposits didn't cover all of the maintenance that needed to be fixed in your house, so I was not able to fix it prior to the next year you guys living in that house.
Here's kind of from your point of view, Louis, so money is a big issue for you, then, definitely.
Yeah.
So you could put that down as money rent. I'm also hearing that, you guys are kind of, both of you guys are kind of arguing, well, you guys are arguing, and do you guys think the communication between you guys are not going too well? Could that be one?
I think he sees me as an irresponsible college kid when I'm a responsible adult. You know, I mean, I've been here for over a year, I was making my rent payments. I don't owe him any money. And he talks to me like I'm one of the kids in one of the other units who hasn't paid a lick of rent since they moved in.
Okay, so I'm hearing that you are really concerned about kind of respect from him, so I'll add that to the agenda. Louis, is there any issue besides lack of money right now that you are dealing with?
Yeah, I would say that I'm being disrespected because they're not respecting me by not paying me my money owed to me. And even with those late fees that keep adding up month after month, it's just more and more money that's owed to me that I'm not receiving.
But you'll get eventually.
I don't know that. How do I know that?
Because you have all of our information and our credit information.
Well, it's been 3 months now and I haven't seen a dime from either of your roommates, so it's hard to say that I'm still going to get my money once it's been 3 months now.
Right, so going back to this agenda, I'm just going to read off what we have and then maybe we can get started with a few topics. So, first thing I have is lack of money, lack of rent. You really want to emphasize talking about just you, your single lease, and having a home. And also both of you are concerned about the lack of respect that you guys are receiving from one another. Did I get everything? Or is there anything else that we can add?
I really want to touch on the base of his ethical mindset of kicking out 3 women in the middle of the winter because they were complaining about not having heat in their home. Like, who does that? Don't you agree?
I think that kind of falls with your living situation.
Yeah.
Okay. So, out of these 4 topics, is there a place that one of you would like to begin?
I would like to talk about the single week, most importantly. I feel like if worst comes to worst, and Lewis is at his wit's end, then I think it could be justified that he throws the 2 tenants out that haven't been paying the last 3 months of rent. But I don't think throwing me out is wise on his behalf, because I can get a lawyer. You know, I can make, that's why I said this can't be confidential, because I can take this to another level, you know, like he's gonna kick me out. The last time I was late on rent was the last lease, you know, this has been ridiculous. So I would like for me to be able to know that I can remain living there.
Even if she does stay there, so to speak, that's, and I kick out 2 people that are not paying rent, who's gonna find 2 more people to come move in and help pay for all the costs of the maintenance that still needs to be done in order for you to live there? That's not my responsibility.
It's not my responsibility. It's a single lease.
Well, yeah, it is a single lease, so even though if I do kick out the other 2, that should be your responsibility to find, or whose responsibility is it gonna be at that point to find subleasers?
Well, it's the middle of the winter, the middle of spring semester, and you're the one who paired me with the 2 non-rent payers in the first place.
I don't pick who you live with.
Yes, I know, but you referred them to me, and I selected them. I mean, how am I supposed to find someone to move in at this point? At this point, you're only getting rent for me currently there anyway. So me living there alone, still paying the rent, you're still getting a third.
Yeah, but if I kick all of you guys out, then I don't have to worry about paying all the other costs to fix it up. I can just leave it as it is.
And that's just unethical.
So, Louis, I heard you say that you referred your roommates in the past to her, and she got the option to choose between them. Is that what you mean?
I guess.
Is that right?
That's not in my script, but sure.
So that's still like, I don't want to suggest. So Sandy, how did it make you feel that when you referred roommates to you in the past?
Well, in the beginning, I told him that I was going to try to find a couple friends to move in with me. And he told me that they have a setup where, you know, they can pair you with a random roommate. And so I was okay with that. And so that's what he sent a few people my way, and I met with them, and there was a couple girls that I had more things in common with that I chose to live with. And I feel like he is now, just because we've lived with each other for a year and a half, now he like puts me in the same category as them, being irresponsible and not paying the rent and delinquent tenants, when that's not me in the beginning. I mean, I felt like we had a relatively friendly relationship at first, and now I feel like he's taking everything out on me, that his frustration, and he doesn't even talk to the other roommates, you know, like he talks to me about them missing their rent. He needs to talk to them about them missing their rent, you know, that has nothing to do with me. It's a single lease. I know there's people living in one of his, there's plenty of one unit, one room, living in a 3-room apartment. And they don't have any issues, and I think it's because they're white.
You can pull the race card on you now? This is just outrageous.
Well, then why can Bob and Billy have their own apartments?
Because they pay their rent on time.
I pay my rent on time.
Well, not collectively, as a whole resident.
It has nothing to do with me.
Well, if your other roommates are so upset about the maintenance not being done, why don't I hear anything from them? It's only you.
Because I'm the one paying, and I have the right to be mad.
You're the one steaming into my office aggressively demanding that I fix all of your units, or you're gonna stop paying rent too.
Because you promised me upon moving in that things would be fixed, that you weren't able to get a chance to fix yet.
And you promised me that you guys would have rent paid on time every time this year.
I know.
That's failed.
I know I made that promise for us.
So right now, they're literally just sitting in a circle. We've heard this conversation a million times, right? Okay. Louis, what do you want? What do you want out of this today? What do you want today, Sandy? Pull those questions out and see what their interests are. Okay.
So, Louis, what are you hoping to get out of this?
Or, okay, sorry, I just remembered this too. Like, as a landlord, tell me what your expectations are. What do you do as a landlord every day? What do you expect as being a tenant? Those kind of questions.
So as a landlord, I'm expected that I get paid every month on rent, on time. Get paid rent. Rent gets paid to me every month on time. And not only do I have this one single house that I'm worried about with you guys not having your keys, I have over 10 other houses with multiple problems going on between the 10 houses that I have to juggle on a daily basis. So when you come in to my office demanding that I need to fix all of your maintenance instantly or you're going to stop paying rent, you don't realize how much pressure that puts on me as a landlord. Because I'm not only worried, I do care about you guys' health and your household, but I also have to worry about 10 other houses. So all of this pressure that just builds up stresses me out, and yeah, I mean, maybe I do take it out on you because you're the only one that's willing to talk to me. But I just need to know how much pressure that puts on me that I have to deal with on a daily basis.
So Sandy, what do you feel about this?
I can understand where the stress of what Louis explained of having to fix other units and juggling, not getting rent from the other tenants. And I know that my other roommates have been avoiding him, so I get it. But I would expect a landlord to have more maintenance people if that's the case. You're obviously understaffed. Heat is not something that just can be on the fritz in the wintertime. I expect as a tenant that's been paying rent, even if it's $250, that in the winter when it's below zero, the heat's working.
Okay. I see where you're coming from in that aspect. You need heat in your house, especially in these cold Minnesota winters. But it's become a burden to me that your roommates, not only your roommates, but many other of my tenants are late. So it becomes a major issue for me because I have to basically put in my own money to fix all of these maintenance issues between the other houses. So for me to not prioritize and put yours first and leaving you upset, I can understand that. But you also have to understand that I have many other tenants to deal to.
I get that, and I shouldn't have came aggressively yelling at you. I mean, obviously, you're my landlord, and I have respect for you. And you do control my living situation, and I would just hope that you would see that I don't want to have to find somewhere else to live. I mean, I do enjoy living here. I graduate in just 3 months. Like, I don't want to have to worry about that. And I would hope that if I could promise you that I will continue like I have been paying my rent, that you would throw me on the street by the end of the week.
Sandy, so what do you expect as a tenant from your landlord?
I expect from my tenant, as a tenant, I expect that my landlord, when I express to him that my heat hasn't been working, he shows concern and immediacy to getting it to work instead of reminding me that my roommates haven't been paying their rent. And I expect that a landlord wouldn't threaten to throw me out on the street when we have a lease, that I signed. I understand that he has the power to do so, but I would expect that that wouldn't happen unless it was a much more serious situation. And if so, if he doesn't want to put the money in fixing that unit and he wants to get rid of the people who aren't paying rent there, then I feel like it's his responsibility to then place me in a different unit with someone else.
So Louis, how are you feeling after hearing that from Sandy?
I mean, I understand your expectations as a tenant, and I guess that I can respect that. But I guess the major issue for me is that I don't have the money or resources to fix for maintenance issues in the house.
How do you feel about her saying that Louis wants, or she feels like you should be the one to place her with roommates who can provide these, the rent for you?
I guess that I would have to speak with her other roommates in order to gather the money before I can even think about finding new people to move in. I'm not going to let them move out and basically disappear with my money. So maybe once I receive my money, then we can begin to look at that issue.
Sandy, how do you feel?
Again, I don't know why he keeps pairing me with those roommates that he placed me with that aren't paying their rent. That was his bad judgment, not mine. So whatever he does with them has nothing to do with me. But I'm saying if he doesn't have the money and the resources to fix the appliances in the unit I already live in and the heat, then I should at least be able to be moved to one of his other units that I know one person is living in a 3-bedroom apartment. That he's just letting them have it to themselves and just pay as one person. But I feel like, if anything, I should be able to be paired there or in my own other unit.
Would this be a good option for you, Louis, to either, since her roommates really aren't giving you the money, I heard her say earlier that she's okay with them being thrown out. and then you can replace them with two that will pay the rent, or vice versa, if she moves to a different apartment with two roommates who pay the rent.
I'd be able to figure something out where, I mean, my major issue is receiving the money from the other two tenants, and I understand that that's not in her hands. But you should obviously have some say, or yes, you could persuade them in some sort of way to pay me my money. Then we could probably work out something where you can move out of that house into a working apartment with whatever, 1 to 2 other tenants, and you won't have to deal with the maintenance issues, and I'll receive my money.
They don't want to give you any money if you don't have heat working in the house.
Well, all that I ask is that they pay me for the 3 months that they are behind, and if I can receive that money, I'll fix everything that needs to be fixed in the house. But without that money, I'm unable to do so. So that's why I'm asking if there's any way that you, as a roommate, can persuade them to give you my money, then I can fix everything in the house. And yeah.
That's not my responsibility. It's your responsibility as a landlord to, you need to persuade them. You need to be calling them. I don't need to be doing anything because I have a single lease. So that's on you. If you don't want to place me in a working unit and you're going to leave me in an apartment that has no heat and other broken appliances, or you're still going to continue to kick us out at the end of the week, then I don't see any reason why I can't take this to court.
I don't think court would be necessary, but if that's what you really feel, that would you be willing to go to a different residence?
In your apartment complex, yes.
Well, I mean, I'm trying to figure out a way that I can also get some sort of money. I know it doesn't have anything to do with you, but then why? So you called me into mediation so that you don't get kicked out.
Yes.
Alright, well, I mean, we can figure out something on those terms where you don't get kicked out. But as for the other 2 units, I can't promise anything.
Okay.
So, are you in agreement that Sandy will not be kicked out?
Yeah.
Also, so Sandy won't be kicked out, and you're gonna look into moving her to a different residence? Is that what I'm hearing from you? Can we potentially put a timeline on when you will be able to look for a new residence for her?
I just don't understand. So, I maybe bring her other 2 roommates in for mediation, or how am I supposed to get my money?
parts of yourself getting your money, don't you get it?
I'm gonna call the cops on.
You know, as mediator, I just have a question. If he does ask that, is that an option for us to tell him that if he wants to bring this to mediation, he could?
I guess, I don't really know the answer to that.
I don't feel like
You know what,
that.
I would, but I'm not gonna, in the middle of your mediation, you guys haven't even, I mean, you're writing down an agreement right now. So I would just like, just say, well, right now, we're talking about this agreement currently. If you want to talk to us afterwards or after this time slot, I would love to talk to you about that.
So, Louis, we are getting agreement down. Let's focus on this currently, but yes, we can definitely talk about those options after this mediation is done. So I actually think that we covered the living side of the agenda, because you will for sure have a place to, you're not going to get down, essentially. You're going to have a roof over your head. I did hear a lot that you are just really concerned right now about the heat and your comfortableness in your apartment. Could you talk a little bit more about living in an apartment without heat?
Well, it's been really hard because it's been getting a lot colder recently, and it's freezing in the house. Like luckily, I went and bought me a heater blanket. I don't think I would be able to survive without my heater blanket. And I've been having to leave the oven on just for a little bit of heat in the living room, you know, when I have to open. Like, how ridiculous. I shouldn't have to have my oven on and open just to have some heat in the house, you know. And I have the thermostat all on 90 degrees, and nothing's coming out of the vent. And he's had his maintenance people come over, and they dink around with it, say it's good, and then leave, and it's not even on, you know. Like, it's just like, it's hard, and it's just been getting colder, and I'm concerned, you know. I shouldn't have to live in those conditions, and I don't even want to live in those conditions for another week.
So, Louis, after hearing Sandy's statements about that, how do you feel after listening?
Somebody paid for it every 100 times.
Just going off what Sandy said, if you were in her living situation, then how would you feel?
A little upset. I didn't have heat.
Cold.
Maybe a little cold.
Then what would you, if you had that problem, what would you do?
You blow a blanket.
What if this was an ongoing thing, like just not for a while, but it just was over a year, and you were fed up with it?
You guys, I'm sorry. Okay, we already have an agreement, and you're hitting on all the shit that we just hit on.
Yeah,
Okay, so like,
You're bringing up all
stay
this.
way away from that. I would
Okay.
have left it all that out.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
So, I think of what I need to.
Do that again.
Well, on the agenda, we do have the lack of money and rent, and focus on the single lease, which I did hear you say earlier that you understand that it is just her lease.
Yeah, it's hard because there's nothing really I can do. The law it covers her regardless, so I'm fighting up that.
I think the living in sub-single use, because they're like a group. So I don't know.
And it all breaks itself up.
Yeah.
And like, with the single leaves and the rent, because all, you'll realize all of it doesn't the same leave. And then that kind of gets involved.
Yeah, so that's, I think that could be a good in single use and living. And the rent kind of like, yeah. So we did knock down like all three.
Yeah.
Except it was just the respect part left.
So, can I bring up things that were said earlier? Because I did hear Sandy say earlier that you do have respect for Lewis and all the maintenance he, or everything that he controls or manages earlier. Can you talk more about that?
Yeah, like I respect Lewis as my landlord. I'm not some, rude adolescent. I have respect for Lewis. I understand it's a lot, especially owning and running a student on-campus apartment complex. You know, I get that. And I didn't have much high expectations when I moved in. And we had a relatively friendly relationship in the beginning. And I've never stopped respecting him until when he's been hassling me about the other two roommates' rent, when I've been talking to him about issues with my apartment's maintenance. And I feel like we could have a better relationship if he realizes that I do have respect, and I just don't think he has respect for me.
Not that I don't have respect for you, it's just that, I guess I'm more or less upset with your roommates, and sometimes I do take it out on you. So, I guess, I'm sorry for that, because you are, I would say, one of the more responsible tenants that I do have, so I do respect you for that as well. Yeah, it's just very frustrating when your roommates don't pay me their rent, and it kind of is just like a cycle. I don't get the money, I can't fix the maintenance, and you get upset. So it's just a perpetuating cycle, really. And I think that the only way to stop it is if you are moved out into a different residence.
I agree.
And so I'm hearing that you guys really do have respect for each other. There were just some external factors that were kind of making it hard to see. So in the agreement, we have that Sandy will not get kicked out, and Lewis will look for a new residence for Sandy in about a week. Is there anything that I can add that I may have missed in this agreement, or are you guys happy with what we found out today?
I'm happy, and I would like to keep this mediation confidential now. I would like to put that as the final agreement, because I don't want the two roommates I was living with before to know that I was moved into another unit, or any of that information about what's been said today. I don't want them thinking that I went against them if Lewis does continue to kick them out at the end of the week. I would just rather everything be confidential.
Is that okay with you? Alright, I think we have an agreement, just gonna need some initials here and here. Thank you guys for coming in today.
Thank you so much.
Alright.
Anyway.
Good job, you guys made it so hard. Oh my gosh, I would just, whatever. Goodness. Okay.
Yeah, it was a little more difficult when I thought it was.
Yeah.
It's so funny because my language is so difficult how you